And I went into that wrestling match for all the deathmatch guys who they said this shit's garbage, all the guys that never got their respects and all that. I went in that match for them guys, man. That was what was on my mind.
Rewind, recap, relive. For over 50 episodes, the revolutionary force in wrestling interview.
Walking into AEW now on that, when you went in there and went up against Jericho, what was it like being, well, first of all, backstage in a company like that, such a big company, and then just walking out and experiencing that atmosphere? Was that the biggest crowd you ever been in front of?
No, I wrestled in front of, let's see, I would say 18,000 in Japan.
Okay, right.
But Japanese crowds are different than American crowds.
Yeah.
There was about 8,000 there. Just the production in it back. I pretty much knew everybody in the locker room, man. I must have wrestled almost all them guys in the locker room. I can't, man, everybody was cool as hell in that locker room. You know, I get respect everywhere I go just because who I am. But no one was a dick. No one was an asshole. Everybody was cool. You know, Cody was cool. Khan was cool. You know, Jericho was definitely cool. And Danielson was our agent in that match. And he was cool, you know, and it was just an awesome atmosphere. And I got like a little cut, and they sent me to, like, I never had this before. They sent me to the doctors in the back to give me stitches. You know, you get a cut on the independent scene, man. You gotta like roll that up some duct tape or put a bandage on it, keep that shut. I was like, I'm good, guys. You don't have to stitch me up. No, sit down, stitch up.
Yeah.
And you know, it was cool, man. And Britt Baker, that's my girl. So after the match, I was in there. She was sitting in there with me, and you know, everybody knows her boyfriend. And he called me up and just congratulated me. And like after the match, Tony Khan got out of his chair and went around the thing because, you know, he's sitting in whatever they call that position. It's gorilla in WWE, but it's something else there. He went around and high-fived me and gave me a hug and thanked me. And then so Jim Ross came up to me and said, that was awesome, kid. You know, keep working hard, you know. And to have Jim Ross, a guy that's been in this business for all them years, say that to you, you know, like, it was just a good night, man. It was a good night.
Yeah, you know? Absolutely. I mean, it looked great, too. It looked like you really had a good time out there. I mean, you were feeding off that crowd.
Yeah, that's the first time I worked live TV, too. So, you know, so you got to have your times down, Jonah. So you gotta move fast. And sometimes I want to just, you know me, I want to go to the crowd.
Right.
You know, I want to start working that crowd. I want to start saying, well, fuck you too. If you don't like me, I don't care. You know, you want to fight. I wanted to do all that stuff. But I always wanted to go on the ramp and walk side to side, you know, go over to the left side and see that big crowd over to the left side, then walk over to the right side and see that big crowd, and then go down the rampway, man. And not only did I do that, I brought on Deathmatch Wrestling, which was all real stuff. The light tubes are real, the glass was real. Everything was real. The pizza cutter was real. So, you know, it made me feel good.
It should. And it came off great as a fan. I loved it. Yeah. I know a lot of people did too. Something with Domino's Pizza with the pizza cutter, though, right? Wasn't there a whole...
How about that, huh? What a coincidence that was. Tony Khan was like, man, don't you guys say anything about Domino's or anything like that. And I'm like, wow, you know, I'm not corny like that, man. I don't really care about that shit. That shit was funny,
Yeah.
you know.
Oh,
I'm carving Jericho up, making him a bloody mess, and here comes a Domino's pizza commercial. So that was cool.
Did you obviously MJF, storyline he brought you in? Did you have a lot of interaction with him or?
Oh yeah, MJF's one of my good friends, man.
Nice.
He pitched the idea. Jericho watched my of course he narrates the Dark Side of the Ring. So he watched that and he just loved my episode. And MJF pitched the how about bring Nick Gage in, and they both loved it, and it was great.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
was.
Yeah, it was great, man. It was a good moment for me, as I my career. It's up there. I wrestled Chris Jericho, Lionheart, man. It was great. No, go ahead. I was just gonna say I grew up on Chris Jericho, man. I used to watch him when he was in Japan wrestling Pegasus Kid, Benoit when he was under the mask. I watched him in ECW, and to fast forward all these years later, I'm wrestling him in a death match.
Rewind, recap, relive. For over 50 episodes, the revolutionary force in wrestling interview.